first learned that I have a talent when I joined a dancing competition, and we were trio, and I was 7 years old then, and we bested among all the elementary levels. Later on, I became our song leader in the first communion, and I got used to juggling being part of the honor roll. So I'm part of the top 10 in our year level, and then later on, um, I focused on my so-called singing career. And so from top 1, I moved down to top 4, top 5. And when I transferred schools, I went back as top of my class and was active in academics as well in my extracurricular activities. Later on, I joined a broadcasting club in our school. I was grade 6, so I was 13 years old when I started my broadcasting stint. It was in AM frequency and under a Catholic group, and I was reading the the gospel back then, and that was the only part of what I do. So given my back then my voice was so soft spoken, and they described it as sounded like an angel. But whenever I try to listen, um, I feel or I can hear a very tiny voice, and I never got used to listening to my own voice. Anyway, fast forward in 2010. I wanted to, document my journal in my running journey, and I actually started blogging as early as 2007, or maybe it was 2007, and back then it was under tabulas.com. So there were a lot of online journal back then, and there's already the blogger, but I wanted something not mainstream, so I went to the tabulas.com and created short stories there. And then later I blogged about running in 2010, and ever since I never stopped blogging or sharing my journey via social media. So those were the heydays back in even before tabulas, I guess, because there's back in 1995, or no, maybe 1999, when Friendster was popular back then, and then there's MySpace. Remember that? And I tried blogging there until I transferred to Tabulas. It's just that MySpace was like a a beta version of Facebook wherein you can place a lot of things like your blog, your photos, your videos, your audio, anything that is streaming. And there was no YouTube back then. I think it was 2007 when, or anyway, correct me if I'm wrong. But then in 2010, what was supposed to be my documentation or my online journal, to after finishing my graduate studies, I wanted to document how I will work overseas and would narrate my life as an overseas worker. And my plan was to work in Singapore with my cousins and work in a bank. But that didn't work. So I worked here, here in the Philippines. And later on found out that running was what made me happy rather than my work. And so I documented, I overhauled my blog into a running blog. And back then, like, sports blog is not a thing, or maybe a fitness blog, because most of the sports are available in the broadsheets, in the newspapers. And the digital format of the newspapers back then was still on its soft phase, or what you call that, the younger phase, earlier phase there. And then I guess CrossFit came along, yoga came along, and other brands invited me to be part of their community, to represent them, to cover their events. And I never thought that as a blogger, that was the title influencer wasn't real back then. That was around 2014, 2015, and I became an ambassador for a sports brand, a Japanese sports brand, and a local telecom. And yeah, that was around 2016, 2017. Now fast forward, I still write, however, in a series of from personal stuff, random things, until I moved to Baguio up north. So right now I'm back in Manila. I'm in Quezon City. And the reason behind I'm revamping this podcast is that I wanted to reintroduce myself to you, to my dear listener. And I wouldn't place an introduction and an extra in this episode as a primer of what would things be moving forward, because presently I'm a yoga teacher and a fitness coach, and just recently I found out that I wanted to align everything that I post online, and so that would include my blog or my website, my podcast, my brand, and what I bring out to the world, especially on Instagram, on Facebook, on Reels, on TikTok. It's the year 2021, and those are the sock meds that are quite popular nowadays for you to reach an audience, a specific audience. And I I needed to review my marketing in MBA, and even took a invested um and leverage by by enrolling myself through a mentor, or well, this is a group of a team of mentors, great mentors, for digital marketing. And that is my point for this maiden episode, for this second season of Allan's Ray of Light. Something that you as a business person, maybe an entrepreneur, and specifically for yoga teachers out there, for fitness coaches, for fitness instructors, for those of you who wanted to create a career online, this is for you. And I wanted to share my journey on how I figure things out, just like what I did when I was documenting my road to marathon. Started out running 3Ks, 5Ks, then 10Ks, half marathon, until I reached my first marathon. And then sooner and later, I ran my ultra marathon. Even then later found out that I can do Muay Thai, then do CrossFit, and do yoga. And now that I am a yoga teacher, I am trying to do this funnel marketing now, and what is called the niche marketing. And back then, back in 2011, because 2014 when I graduated from graduate school, and when I had my marketing course, I created the PowerPoint presentation, and guess what? We already have the Google Slides and Visme, and other. You already have the Canva for your templates, even for PowerPoint presentations, or I mean presentations in Zoom or online, right? And so we needed to adapt and change, keep up with the times. And we couldn't just make an excuse, because it has been a year since COVID-19 happened, and we call on this the new normal, the pandemic era. But I wanted to create in this atmosphere that we are living in right now. And I believe there's a promise, there's hope for businesses, especially for fitness and wellness entrepreneurs. You and I have great promise for the future. And so I welcome you in this journey as I try and figure things out. I will give you tips, and I will try to share to you what I am learning. And hopefully, you get to pick something. And I guess my last message for you tonight or today, as a yogapreneur, a yoga entrepreneur, a yoga teacher, fitness coach, a wellness teacher, wellness coach, or instructor, why do you teach? Why do you coach? Why did you choose this profession? And that's where we will figure out on the following episodes. Have a good day. This has been Allan.